X Runner here in Peru started 3.5 years ago with Jesse, the founder of X Runner, and me as a co-founder coming here and wanting to test our idea of a container-based sanitation solution in the urban slums of Lima. Jesse is a product designer and I studied business. So we both come from different angles and have different points of view on this business of ours, which makes it very interesting because we are forced to always see another person's point of view and realize, you know, maybe we should merge the two ideas or accept the other person's ideas or do our idea. My task is mainly to run the operations here in Lima, make sure that we grow the team, and just be in charge of making this container-based solution work. And Jesse complements this with a lot of research on sanitation and building very important partnerships with providers, for instance. And so the way that we work together is based on a lot of communication, is based on acknowledging the other person's differences and staying focused on the problem that we want to solve. When Jesse and I came to Lima, all that we had in our hands was the idea, a bit of money, and us. And so to me it was very important from the beginning to get people on board with our idea, and not just to hire someone, but to get people who we could convince and get passionate about our idea so that they could stay with us a long time. That was the most important thing for me, to find people that will stay with us. So what we did, we immediately hired 2 people who have indeed stayed with us to this day, and then very quickly with the help of these new team members, find out what else do we need. Do we need someone, I don't know, who helps us with transportation? Do we need someone who has expertise in doing interviews with people? So we very quickly needed to find out, or I wanted to find out very quickly, where do we need help? What is it that we should not be doing ourselves, but have people in our team work on that. So from the beginning, my focus was get people on board who will be as passionate about sanitation and toilets as we are. And then I very quickly started transitioning responsibilities to team members as part of that vision, because if I was only going to give tasks or orders or little homeworks for my team members, I wasn't going to get them on board. So sort of giving responsibilities to my team members was part of making this a sustainable group of people working together, and giving also a sense of ownership and a sense of responsibility and pride to my team members. So the idea, transitioning responsibility was part of a strategy to share and disperse this pride in what we do, and this sharing the importance of what we do, and not just saying we as the entrepreneurs, we came up with this idea, but everyone, all of us, each with their own task. So in that sense, it was not difficult to share responsibilities, because I think that it's worse if you don't. I think it's part of your responsibility as an entrepreneur, as a leader, is when something good happens, when you achieve goals, when you are successful, share it with everyone and let people in the team take credit for that. And don't put yourself too much in the spotlight in that sense. And then when things get difficult, unfortunately, you're the one who has to take responsibility and stand up for that. But I think you really have to do that. Otherwise, you're not being a good leader, I think. So I like delegating. I like include, because it's a type of including people in the whole process, and also acknowledging that you obviously don't know everything, so you have to involve more people in this decision and in the ideas that you have. In general, I think you have to develop a lot of competencies, and you have to keep reevaluating yourself and making sure you're good at what you do. I think the most important one is realizing that you are a boss to your team, even if you are very, if you get along well and if it's all team spirit, but in the end, you are seen as the one who decides and who will, or who has the final say, and just the boss, and you have to get used to that, because it can be a little lonely sometimes, because nobody's gonna tell you did a good job, or nobody's gonna be like, how are you doing? You always have to do that for the team, and I think that's something you have to develop and accept, that's your job. And the other thing is, something that I had to develop was also to be critical about a team member's performance in a way that sort of strike the right balance between being critical and maybe you could do this better next time, and actually realizing this person is not good for the job anymore, and taking action based on that. That's not easy, but that's something I had to do and therefore learn, and it's also important to the success of any enterprise, I think, to be able to make decisions that are difficult, and when it's about people in your team, it's usually difficult. It's not easy. So at the beginning, the talents that External needed were, as I mentioned, a lot of sort of being part of a group, believing in this idea, being a team player, being able to do different types of tasks, and having a good, team spirit. In the future, what we need is still this passion and team spirit, but now we're going to put a focus on specific expertise. For instance, finance. For instance, logistics, IT. The more we grow, the more people we need who can manage our operations on a larger scale and help us scale. So I think what we'll be looking for, or what we're looking for now, is specific expertise and already sort of management background as well, because we need to build a bigger management team here in Peru.